Hi, it's Mighty Mommy here, and I'm ready to share some creative, insightful, and practical parenting tips with you. I'm your host, Cheryl Butler. I grew up in a very active family that enjoyed everything from golf to cross-country skiing. Both my parents were school teachers and taught my siblings and me to not only exercise our brains, but our bodies as well. This meant we didn't sit around like couch potatoes, or worse, announce we were bored, because we were used to being active and it was a regular part of our life. My husband also enjoyed a similar childhood, so we both knew that we wanted our brood of 8 to live an energetic lifestyle. My fellow Quick and Dirty Tips colleague, Get Fit Guy, also believes in the importance of keeping kids fit. In fact, one of his recent newsletters included the results of a fascinating study done by the University of Essex. We're so lucky to have Ben Greenfield, the Get Fit Guy, here with us today. He's going to share with us the results of that fascinating study I just mentioned, which was done by the University of Essex. Ben, why don't you tell us about this study?
In a recent Get Fit Guy newsletter, I mentioned a study that's done by researchers from the University of Essex, and the study found that 2/3 of children think that their parents do almost no physical activity. I'll link to that study in the show notes for you if you want to check it out, but basically, how it worked was that in the study, researchers asked school children to rate how active they thought that their parents were. And then they had those children complete a test of their own cardio fitness. In this case, the test was a BLEEP test, which is a common way to measure basic fitness levels. And what the researchers found was that the likelihood of a child having a greater amount of fitness based on their performance on this BLEEP test was directly influenced by how active that child perceived their parents to be. Kids who are under the impression that their parents don't exercise very much don't appear themselves to be exercising very much, and this results in a dramatic decrease in their fitness compared to peers who rate their parents more highly in the physical fitness department.
Thanks, Ben. These really are amazing results. So how can we help keep our kids and ourselves fit? Though schedules in today's busy lifestyle are much more complicated than when we were kids, here are 5 fun and easy strategies that I've successfully implemented with my own kids to help keep them moving instead of sitting attached to their electronics. Tip number 1, play Notice the Neighborhood. We have 2 dogs that absolutely love to go for walks. This summer, we started playing a fun game that we call Notice the Neighborhood while we walk the dogs. Before we head off for the walk, I print a list of about 10 random items I want my kids to find during the walk. For instance, yesterday I asked my boys to find 1 fruit tree, a house with a bird bath, a Chevrolet vehicle in the driveway, a house with green shutters, and a few other items. We had to complete the walk and the list within 45 minutes, so this made us walk at a really brisk pace. There are also 2 big hills in our neighborhood, so this added a bit of intensity. But because the kids were excitedly trying to find the items on the list, they hardly noticed we were working out. They have enjoyed this so much, in fact, that they're actually requesting the walks, and the dogs are really benefiting too. Tip number 2, get pedometers for everyone in the house. When pedometers became all the rage a few years ago, I simply had to have one. I was amazed to see what was getting in the recommended 10,000 steps per day, that it was always much easier when I was wearing the pedometer regularly because I had a good sense of how much I was actually moving. My kids noticed I was wearing one, and they would ask me throughout the day to share with them how many steps I had taken. I finally decided that they should be keeping track of their own steps, not mine. So I got each of them a pedometer, and boy, were they ever thrilled. They even got competitive with one another towards the end of the day to see who was going to reach 10,000 steps first. This was a great way to keep them in tune to how active they were, and healthy competition encouraged more activity around the house. Tip number 3, dance while tidying your home. One of my favorite ways to re-energize is to listen to music that has a great beat. With our large family and busy lives, we have a trash and tidy in our house twice a week, where we quickly go through the entire house and pick items up that don't belong and get them to their proper places. This lasts for about, 25 minutes, and to make it more entertaining, we do it to music. Fast-paced music that gets our blood flowing. The music takes our minds off the actual work, but more importantly, it really helps all of us burn calories. And even more importantly than that, we have a lot of laughs in the process. Tip number 4, yard tournaments. One of my favorite childhood memories is of spending hours in our family backyard playing kickball, wiffle ball, and freeze tag. My siblings and I played outdoors for hours, only stopping for a quick snack or bathroom break. I've taken that experience to heart, and nowadays my family has yard tournaments with great games like badminton, volleyball, frisbee, and even hula hooping. I buy silly prizes from the dollar store and award the winners. Time spent in your own backyard with family can truly be the most memorable, and there is really no end to the activities the whole family can participate in, especially when these games are enjoyed on a regular basis. We hold our yard tournaments throughout the entire year, winter included. If you don't have a backyard, don't worry. You can do the same thing in your local park or playground. My hope is that someday my children will pass this active tradition down to their own families. Tip number 5, play follow the leader. Kids love to play games, especially when they're in charge of something or good at winning them. It's so important for younger kids to learn that body movement is not only healthy, but lots of fun as well. When my kids were about 3 years old, we started playing the popular game Follow the Leader with them. The goal when they were younger was to tire them out with a fun adventure around the house or yard. One of my older children or I would be the leader, and then we'd parade up and down the stairs, all over the yard and throughout the hallway, into the bedrooms and even the garage. The simple object was to do some fun and silly movements along the way, because the other children in line had to copy their leader. This game can be adapted to a variety of activities such as swimming, obstacle courses, and even playing out on the swing set in the backyard. Remember, all the leader needs to do is keep moving so that the children will follow suit and imitate all the movements. Thanks again to Get Fit guy Ben Greenfield for his wonderful ideas on keeping your kids active and healthy. Check back next week for more Mighty Mommy tips. If you have a question or a suggestion for a future Mighty Mommy episode, please email me at mommy@quickanddirtytips.com. Check out the Mighty Mommy Facebook page where I share lots of quick parenting tips all week long. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mighty Mommy or join Mighty Mommy on Pinterest.com where you can visit all of my family-friendly boards. Enjoy being active with your family, and as always, happy parenting!